Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So Chris and I have been talking about doing some updates here around the house. And the first thing we're going to do is add some shiplap underneath this bar top.
So the first thing we had to do was get rid of the old shoe molding, and here Brandon's just running a knife down the caulk line to help break the molding free. We used an old chisel, hammer, and pry bar to fully remove the shoe molding. Those really helped make it a lot easier. You definitely want to remove any leftover nails or caulk so that your shiplap boards will be against a smooth and flat surface. Now this little nifty thing is called a contour gauge. Basically it's going to help us transcribe that exact shape to our new molding piece. Now that we have our new molding piece in, it's time to actually start making our shiplap boards. We used 1/4 inch sanded plywood and cut it down to 5.5 inch strips. We did use our table saw, but you could also definitely use a circular saw and straight edge as well. After getting everything cut at the table saw, then we had to bring them all over to the miter saw to get cut to length. this down a little bit, when putting up each board, we would go ahead and paint the edge as well as the wall behind the board. That way we didn't have to paint the entire wall beforehand. And to get the spacing we wanted between each board, we used a nickel as our spacing. Nifty little tip right there. Nail everything in place and you're ready to sand and paint. And that's our dog Maddox. He's slightly needy sometimes. Just make sure you sand everything really well so that your paint will go on nice and smooth. Once we got all of the boards nailed in place and sanded, then we could put the new shoe molding on. Our house is a typical spec built house, which usually means a lot of things aren't square or straight. So we did have a little bit to caulk. You'll just want to lay your caulk on there nice and even and then wipe off any excess. Finally, we're at the fun part where everything starts to come together. For our paint on this project, we ended up using the Bare latex paint from Home Depot, and we used a 6-inch roller versus one of the bigger rollers. We just like to use the smaller rollers in cases like this because we feel like we have more control and are less likely to make a big mess. And that's it. A fairly easy and inexpensive way to get that farmhouse look in your house.
Alright everyone, that is going to be it for this one. I hope that we have inspired you to be able to go out and do this yourself. It is a pretty easy project and it really didn't cost a whole lot of money at all. If you're new to the channel, I want to thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. That way you can keep up with all of our future projects. Well, until next time, we'll see you.